Hello and welcome, everyone. My name is Rob Simonds, and I'm the board president of the Downtown Chamber Series. And I am joined by my fellow board member, Mike Fiflis. Welcome, Mike.
Hello, welcome.
So we joined the board together last year, about 6 months ago, but our relationship with the series goes back many years. I started performing on the series almost 20 years ago, but I'd love for you to tell us a little bit about how you first got introduced to the series.
I was volunteering with the Phoenix Symphony, and one of the musicians at the symphony was playing in one of the DCS performances, and we were talking with him, and he said, you should go to the concert and, check it out. We went and checked out the concert, and we liked everything about it, and we've been going to concerts since then, and we've enjoyed every single one of them. They're great. They're great performances for a whole variety of reasons.
Well, tell me a little bit more about maybe why you started volunteering with the Phoenix Symphony. What is it about your musical background that got you introduced to that?
I've been exposed to, I guess, symphonies, even from early childhood. I remember as a child going to a Chicago Symphony Orchestra concert. When I went to college, I went to Oberlin. They have a great conservatory there.
Mm-hmm.
I heard a lot of music there, heard a lot of great performances. After that, I basically became a symphony classical music patron for years and years, where I've lived, and even after moving here, the Phoenix Symphony and also DCS Downtown Chamber, and I just enjoy the music. So.
Mm-hmm. So, talk about that idea of that patron and presenter relationship. So I obviously started playing with the series as a performer because I was drawn to how curious and adventurous and open-minded the Downtown Chamber Series audiences are. But I was wondering if you could describe for us a little bit about the inversion of that. So what is it about, from the audience's perspective, what is it about the concert format at DCS that makes you come back year in, year out?
I would say several factors. I'm almost tempted to say everything about the concerts. I like the freshness of the concerts. I guess that's my term. You get new music. You get artists that are playing pieces they're interested in playing with maybe new interpretations or new insight into the music. They're playing music. They're playing music they want to play, and they're engaged, which I think is really important for me as an audience member, as a patron, to feel that from the musicians. It's a new experience. You're sitting amidst visual arts as well as the music arts, and to me, you can hardly help from being engaged in that, being taken in by both the visual and the musical arts. I really like live music. I guess that kind of goes without saying, but reproduction of live music is always missing something that you don't get in live music. I'll go back to the engaged musicians briefly. To me, the last concert was a prime example of that. The Evan Chinner Goldberg Variations concert. Evan, he knew the history of the music. He knew all about the music. He knew that he should be using two pianos for some pieces. He was really into the music. Explained it to the audience as he went through. He played 30 out of 40 of the variations, which I don't think has been done anytime recently. That I don't recall that happening. And you could just tell he really enjoyed the music. He really enjoyed playing for folks, exposing people to that music. The interview that you had of him that was on our website, I think really reflects that engagement by him. And that to me, that's one of the key pieces with the DCS concerts. It's always, the musicians are always engaged. Another thing that I really like about the concerts is intimacy. You're right on top of the musicians. You're right on top of the visual arts. You're not sitting 45 rows back. To me, again, you can't help but getting fully engaged in the music
Mm-hmm.
and the visual arts there. So
yeah, downtown Phoenix has such I won't say an abundance because we could always use more, but there's a lot of unique and vibrant art spaces, and those almost become like part of the performance in themselves. They're like part of the instrument in some way.
Yeah.
in the performances. And maybe towards the end of this conversation, might want to come back to that as we talk about changing landscape in downtown Phoenix. But first, I'd like to hear a little bit more about your practice as a lawyer.
I've I don't know, nothing terribly remarkable. I've been a lawyer for 35 plus years. I've had the good luck, from my perspective, of having a very varied practice.
Mm-hmm.
I do a variety of things. I do some litigation. I do some wills and trusts. I do business transactions. A general practice is what a lawyer would call it. And I like the variety. It keeps things fresh and new. You're not just doing the same thing over and over again. And I like helping people out and solving their problems. And as a lawyer, you get a lot of problems to help people out with, and so I like doing that. So
nice. So you use a variety of those experiences and those skills to help out the Chamber Series, not the least of which is our transition to becoming a formal 501c3 nonprofit organization. But you've also helped set up some opportunities for legacy giving. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. Once we achieve the 501c3 status as a charitable organization, we can have donors give donations to DCS, and then they can use that as a tax write-off because of the 501c3 status. And I can help out by, if they have a will or a trust, can make the appropriate amendments to those documents, or even create new documents if they wish, to take care of that legacy gift. If they want to give a donation to DCS once they pass on, then they could do it through a legacy gift, and we can take care of the paperwork, so to speak. They'll have a legacy for DCS to carry on afterwards, and carry on, the fine music tradition that DCS has already been carrying on for 20 years. So,
well said, Mike. And so part of our charge as board members is to help steward DCS, that legacy you're talking about, into the future, and to think about how this can keep going forward. Part of what DCS did when I joined the Phoenix Symphony in 2004, it wasn't long after that I started playing on the series. I remember the first concert we did was over on Grand Avenue, and I'll say that the downtown Phoenix of 2004, 2005, is very different than the downtown Phoenix of today. And in some small way, but in some important way, the Chamber Series has played a part in that urban revitalization. And particularly that arts-driven downtown, which is so, I won't say unique to Phoenix, but we're gonna do it better than most places. Now that downtown Phoenix has become one of the real hubs of Arizona and one of the most dense parts of Phoenix, and it's really come to life with ASU and all the new businesses, restaurants, and so forth. Talk to me a little bit about how you see that next version of the Downtown Chamber Series. You as a committed arts consumer, but also as a volunteer and a steward of one of these organizations. Talk to me how you see how it might stay the same and how it might change going forward.
Well, I think from my personal perspective, I'd love it if they stayed the same to some extent, as far as presenting unique concerts in unique spaces. I think that's no longer a gap, but it's a section of our cultural experience in Phoenix that I don't think any other town has. And I know in Phoenix there's nothing else except DCS. And to me, that's a really important chunk of culture to have out there. It's and I'd like to see it expand as far as getting more audience members that come in. I think, and maybe I'm going a little bit off your question, but
no, please go.
We have a really low ticket price. We're inexpensive to come to a concert and see. To me, that reduces the barrier for a chunk of people that want to come and maybe hear classical music, be exposed to it maybe for the first time. They don't have to spend 3 or 4 times that to go to a concert. And to me, that's an important goal to achieve: reduce the barriers to people coming. I also like the idea of that the visual art draws people in that may not come to a music concert. And again, I think that also reduces the barrier to some extent. I think people, when they come to a DCS concert, are not thinking about they're going to a concert with maybe a stuffy audience, or an audience that is a little bit too maybe uptight about stuff or whatever. our concerts are very informal. I think they're very inviting to anybody that wants to come and hear the music or view the art and the music. That to me reduces another barrier to our audience members, gets rid of that cultural barrier. And the people that I've taken to classical concerts that maybe never had a concert, had seen a classical concert before, those people are always in awe of the classical music, especially a live performance. So to me, it's important for us to broaden our audience base, get people that are not exposed to chamber music, have them come in and hear the chamber music, do it in our unique setting of the visual arts. And I don't know, that to me, I see as a continuing goal of us. Mark's done a wonderful job of doing that for the last 20 years, but you're right, downtown Phoenix has changed a lot. The venues have changed. It's much more populated downtown. And so I guess I'd like to see it continue in that regard. I don't personally want to have it change too much because I really like the way the concerts are set up, the intimacy and the involvement, the engagement of the artists. But it's up to the board. And I should say there's a lot of people on the board that are much more involved in the arts than I am, much more knowledgeable about the arts, and have given great guidance to DCS so far in the year or so we've had the board together. And I look forward to great advice and guidance from all the people that are on the board in the years to come. So
thanks, Mike, and it's beautifully said. I will make the point, though. I think I want to reemphasize the point that we're working hard to make sure there are as few friction points as possible with people coming. That the Downtown Chamber Series at this point is 20-something years old. It's built into the cultural framework of downtown Phoenix, and that reducing barriers to entry are one of our main focuses. And one of those things is all the cultural side of it too. Like you said, these are not stuffy concerts; they're informal and they're really for everybody. And I also say that it is important to have maybe subject matter expertise on a board, but it's also incredibly important to have somebody like you who is more of a representative of the community, that your impressions are not an insider's impressions, and that in some ways you speak very eloquently for the people that we're trying to reach in this community. So with that, I think we'll wrap up here. Mike, thank you for your time and thank you for your insights into this. And I'll put a link in for our future concerts. We have some concerts coming up in March and downtown Phoenix, obviously. And so thank you, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, Rob.